All right, everybody, welcome in Season 3, Episode 26 of the Swishlist Podcast. We got a lot to cover with you guys today. We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. Of course, I am not a fan of all of these superstar players grifting for fouls every single game. Roman somehow wants to defend the players. Don't understand that at all. Victor Wembanyama, unanimous Defensive Player of the Year. We're going to stack prime versus prime from some all-time players. A would you rather? How would you feel if LeBron went to Golden State? How are you handling a 10:30 p.m. start time on the East Coast for some of these games? We'll cover some all-time milestones that are about to be hit, and it wouldn't be the Swishlist Podcast without another NBA conspiracy from me. With that, we'll jump right in. We got to start with the games that took place tonight and the greatest series of the first round, the Denver Nuggets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, in true Timberwolves fashion, come back from 19 points down, can barely hit a free throw, but make two clutch ones at the end. They play what feels like just dumb basketball for half the game, and yet they make it competitive. They run Denver out of the building, and they escape with a win and a 1-1 series tie. Felt like every single three that Denver was making, they got a 4-point play. Roman, what are your thoughts on the game?
This is just good basketball. I love this. I think every single game is just going to come down who can have the run at the end of the fourth quarter. Like, nobody's really winning a game. Nobody's really losing a game. It's just who didn't have enough time to come back. Like, that's how it feels every single game. Jamal back-to-back 30-point performances and dealing with his knee stuff, still has the 30 ball. Naz Reid was huge. Julius Randle was huge. Rudy Gobert's defense on Nikola Jokic, even though he put up his stats, was amazing. And then on the other side of things, Tim Hardaway hitting very timely threes. Aaron Gordon getting tough buckets inside. Just great series. We've been seeing this for years on end, and it feels no different. I don't care what seed the Timberwolves are. They've showed that they stole a road game. I did not expect them to do this. So this is a competitive series, and we're probably going to go 7 games.
Dante DiVincenzo was electric from three. Again, this is now 2 games in a row where he has been a dead-eye shooter. Jamal Murray has stretches where it feels like he cannot miss. He has stretches where he is just incredible with the basketball, but it conveniently was not that way at the end of the game. And I will give Rudy Gobert credit. I think he defended incredibly well tonight on Jokic, made him work for all of his points, and pushed him to the brink of complete exhaustion. I will say, I'm so sick of every time Jokic touches the ball that he has to flail forward, lift his arms, and then put them up like this. I'm so sick of it. I'm so tired of watching him do it. It's just play the game. Like, I get it. I understand what you're doing. If you can get Gobert out of the game, you get a huge advantage. Any of these guys, you get them in foul trouble, it's an advantage. But, like, every single possession, it's just disgusting. Makes me sick. Makes me
see
sick.
it every possession. I just don't.
Oh, it
I
is
don't
every
get what you're
possession.
seeing here, Moses. Like,
No, it is every
you
possession.
charge statement, especially for this year's playoffs. Like, it's just so physical. It's so good, and I view it as, the chess match. You're gonna try and be more physical than me. Okay, I'm gonna sell the contact that you are forcing on me. So watch this. And we've seen a lot of these movie screens, but I think it's just the intensity. Everybody's trying to feel it out. Even the refs are trying to feel it out. So we give it another week, and I think I'll have it a bit more figured out. I know they're probably having this conversation and feel the same way that you do, some of these refs. But superstars, man. The superstars get their calls, and I don't think that's going to change.
Anthony Edwards, he just is, I don't know if I would say he's kryptonite for Denver. He'd have to win this series to kind of earn that right. But he's just the itch that they can't scratch. He's just good enough. The Wolves are just competitive enough. They have just enough bigs to throw at Jokic. Their guards play just well enough to always be in the game. Now, we don't need, the fouls from McDaniels hitting somebody in the head or punching somebody here or shoving somebody there. But, like, these teams don't like each other. This is the best series that you're going to get to watch in the first round. I'd imagine that every game from here on out is going to get increasingly more competitive. And I think you just have to hope that you get a healthier and healthier Anthony Edwards over the course of this series. I don't know how it happens. I don't know what they would do to get him to that point. But, man, it's incredible basketball.
It's going to be good. The back and forth is great ball. I mean, these teams are super tired by middle of the second quarter. I think Brian Scalabrine was talking about it after Jamal went out at the start of the fourth quarter. He's like, Jamal has been huffing and puffing for 3 minutes on that bench. Like, these guys are going all out. It kind of looks like we're looking at what would be a conference finals matchup or a second round matchup. It just seems like these two teams know each other, and the roster changes have not changed in these past 4 years. So it's a battle, and it's got to come down to 7 games. We got to keep seeing this go back and forth.
Oh, we will. And Minnesota's going to win them. Minnesota's going to win that 7th game. I can tell you that right now. Minnesota.
I'll take
Minnesota. Yeah, they're going to win it.
3 seed.
They're gonna take care of business. The Hawks giving the Knicks a game. Same thing. Another game where the top seed gets out to a big lead, and then they just let the Hawks back in. One of my favorite things is if you beat the New York Knicks at home and have a great game, you all of a sudden become a villain. They want to label CJ McCollum as a villain. He denied it. His post-game presser was awesome. He's like, I got a wife and 2 kids. I'm not a villain. I think it was hilarious. But he was on one tonight. I thought Jalen was going to be the one who was going to do it, but it ended up being CJ. His floater game was impeccable tonight. And I was a huge fan. And it's not even to say that the Knicks came out and played poorly. They had the shot at the end to tie it, or even to end or to win the game. It just ended up in Mikal Bridges' hands. Like Jalen Brunson just couldn't get the ball. I think if Brunson shoots that ball, who knows? He very well may make it. He had an incredible game. I think the Cat is showing up in the series on both sides of the ball, and he's really trying. But when you look at the Hawks, like the Hawks don't mess around. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, you called out his defense. He gets that steal on Brunson late. Like, we knew that this was going to happen. We knew that the Hawks were a sneaky, tough matchup. Kuminga had another great game, too. He had a great game off the bench here. Some very clutch shots. So the Hawks are keeping it interesting with the Knicks. I still think the Knicks win it in 6. But, man, you go 1-1, and now you're on the opposing turf. You don't want to be in this position if you're New York.
Yeah, I think this series is definitely going to end up at 2-2. I don't think New York comes in and win both games in Atlanta. And then we go back and forth. The Knicks probably win game 7. But this was like my watch out team because CJ McCollum 30-piece, Jalen Johnson 20-piece, Nickeil Alexander-Walker hitting timely 3-pointers all game. This whole lineup, Okongwu will just randomly put up a couple threes, and Kuminga gets a
He's been
nice
good
fast
spacing.
break.
Okongwu's been really good in spacing, and he's pulling the bigs out. It's been really good.
Mm-hmm. Dyson Daniels doesn't have to have as much offense when CJ's on the court.
Yep.
They've just been really good, and it's what I kind of expected. I think this team was a big sleeper, especially in that Eastern Conference. And yeah, the Knicks have a great game. Like, it just seemed like if Jalen Brunson wasn't making a shot, Cat was getting a putback. But that smaller lineup that they ran at the end of the game, just having Kuminga just front Cat those last 5 minutes, ended up working out. It seems like when a smaller guy gets on Cat and gets under his skin, he doesn't take it very well. And so they weren't able to close out the game. This is nothing new to New York Knicks fans of not closing out games, especially at home. So, yeah, CJ, be that villain. Take this to 7 games.
We also saw a ton of blowout wins, some that felt more interesting to watch than others. I mean, the Celtics just put the Sixers to bed. They smoked them. You look at what the Thunder did to the Suns, smoked them. I know a lot of people are upset about the calls that SGA was getting in that game. We've been seeing this for 82 games. It's nothing new. The Cavs have actually, I feel like the Raptors have tried, and the Cavs have just put the Raptors down now 2 times. But there was no game. Oh, man. But I'll tell you what, man. Watching Victor Wembanyama in the playoffs is peak television. Getting to see this guy play in the postseason is peak television. His 35 and then post game says, well, it's only 35, but he scores 35. He's got the 2 all-time bigs in the building. They show them both hanging out with each other. You got the fans with the shirts, loved the shirts, was a huge fan of that. And the Spurs just came in and they dominated. They just were incredible from top to bottom. They did not look like a team that wasn't ready for the moment. Now, to be honest and to be fair, they're playing against the Blazers team that for the vast majority of those players do not have playoff experience. And so it's a pretty fair matchup for them. But my goodness, Wemby looks special.
First game, 35 points, first playoff game ever.
That behind the back?
Yeah, it's something special. Like the lobs that he's catching, the timely 3-pointers. Like, Even when it felt like the Trailblazers might get back into the game, like Scoot had a really good second half, especially that third quarter.
Yeah,
They cut it down real close, but then Devin Vassell would just hit, with a couple
he hit some
three-pointers, have some
big
good
threes,
defensive
2 of them.
plays.
Yes.
Yeah, you can just kick it to
Yes.
Champagne. You can guarantee that he's probably going to hit a kick-out three.
Oh, he was on it
De'Aaron
too. Yep.
Fox, quick and played his role. Stephon Castle was playing great defense. Like, they just got it figured out, and this is only one game in with this I would say brand new team, but team that didn't even make the playoffs last year. So this is really interesting to see. And yeah, Wemby gets 35 in his very first playoff game. We might see this man average over 35 points a game. And as much as that might be, crazy, it's not going to be surprising because we've seen what this guy does when things get intense. Victor Wembanyama brings it up a notch. He wants the ball. He wants the moment. So really excited to see what that game brings tomorrow.
And we've really never gotten to see Wemby with no restrictions. We've never gotten to see them take the reins off of Victor Wembanyama. I'm picturing the moment when Rock Lee drops the ankle weights in Naruto in the Chunin exams, and you're just like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? Like, I think there's another level that Wemby's going to go to in this series, and I'm going to watch every minute of the games. That is a promise. I don't know. Other than the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, there's nothing that's getting me to a television faster than watching the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama play in this first round right now. That's how incredible he is, and I believe he's going to continue to be. Now, what's interesting is you watch the Pistons get punked by the Magic. Now, I think there's a couple of things. There's a couple of reasons for this. The first, the Pistons had an extended break. Cade is still getting healthy. And so they're reintegrating him into the lineup. We didn't get to see him play a lot of games going into the end of the season. Meanwhile, Orlando is coming off of a huge emotional win against Charlotte, a dominating performance where everybody was firing on all cylinders, and they carried that over into this game. I don't think this is an indicator that the Pistons are going to lose the series. I think you just had a team that was hot coming into the building, and you had a team in the Pistons that had to find themselves a little bit. What are your thoughts? Am I off?
No, I agree. Pistons just weren't ready. And it's easy to say that because OKC has a long break period before, but especially with a team who's never been one seed, I just don't think Pistons are ready for the moment. And this is something to watch out for because now you're the one seed and you're down 1-0 against like you said, a team that's gone through a lot to get to this point. And they already stole that game. Series doesn't get real until somebody wins a road game, and they went and took game 1. So this Magic team is no regular 8 seed. We know that when they're healthy, this team is very good, and so now they're confident. Doesn't even matter what happens in game 2. Pistons should really just go and do their job in game 2, and then that series is going to be real interesting because Cade has 39 and they still lose. I don't think they had to lead the entire game. Magic just locked down on their defense, and it was just back and forth. Magic would get it to about a 10-point lead. Pistons would climb back in. It was like 2 points, and they just could never get over the hump and win the game. So shout out to the Magic for what they did and came out early. So excited for what this series brings as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. Orlando is not a typical 8 seed. They played some very competitive games against Boston last year. They pushed them in a few big time games. And so when you look at the distribution of the teams in the East, you would have considered the Hawks more of an 8 seed than you would the Magic. You would have thought the Magic would be competing with the Cavs, the Raptors, or they'd be in that 6th spot themselves. And so they definitely fell at the end. And you talked about this. This might be the best matchup for them. They avoid Boston. They get the Pistons, who have less experience. This is kind of the team you want to play, and they go out and they win a game 1. They go steal it. Now we got to see what happens. The pressure is all on Detroit, and they have to sit another day before they play. They don't play till Wednesday. So it gets interesting.
Lots of time off. So, yeah, that series is definitely one to watch out for. We might see a Miami Heat type of series here.
I don't know. Don't put that out there. Come on, man.
What?
Come on, man.
It's where it's at. All of a sudden, the Heat looked like they were going to win the series, and then they did in 5.
Let's just get to Wednesday. LeBron and the Lakers take on the Rockets with no Kevin Durant. Really unfortunate. I was like, here we go. Big time game. No Kevin Durant. Okay. and LeBron does what he needs to do, breaks the record for the oldest player with however many assists he ended up with in the game. Another record for Bron. Played well. Rockets didn't. I think Sengun's going to bounce back. Amen Thompson, same thing. I don't know if you can expect to get that many points out of Luke Kennard. So what Lakers team are we going to see tomorrow? What Kevin Durant are we going to see in this series? So much is up in the air. It feels like there's more questions than answers when it comes to the Lakers and the Rockets.
Yeah, a completely unpredictable series. Like, give LeBron the one option. We know he's going to make the right play in the playoffs. Yeah, he's not as fast as he once was, but he's as smart as he's ever been on the court. So if you give him the number one option, you know he's going to make the right play. And if the Lakers shoot the hell out the ball like they did, if Luke Kennard can go 5 for 5 from the three-point line, DeAndre hitting all his mid-range shots and his floaters, and Marcus Smart's hitting his threes, Rui Hachimura's hitting. If everybody's hitting, this team won't lose, especially without Kevin Durant. Sengun has a bad game. If Kevin Durant's not playing, Sengun needs to be at least a 25 points per game. Has to be there. You can't score 19 and have an inefficient game without Kevin Durant on this team. So, yeah, this is like the first series. I saw the statistic. First series since like Sidney Moncrief versus no, not Sidney Moncrief. Who was it? Mark Aguirre versus Moses Malone or something like that. The two superstars, the two leading scorers haven't been playing in the first game of the series. So this is history of missing superstars.
Yeah.
And Lakers take game one. So excited to see where this one goes tomorrow, because it's really unpredictable.
Hey, man, a lot of people wanted Clint Capella on those Lakers. We got to see Clint play. And Ayton was playing defense. I'm not going to lie. Ayton had himself a game. I don't think he's getting enough credit for how well he played in that game one. We would talk more about the Celtics and the Sixers, or the Thunder and the Suns, if we saw the competition do anything. So, Philly, you need to earn the right for us to talk more about you. And same goes for Phoenix. We need to see some more competitive games in those spaces. But good luck. You're playing against two of the most well-seasoned playoff performing teams in basketball. So you have an uphill battle in front of you. I do want to come back to this, Roman. The grifting for fouls. The easy conversation is to talk about how Jalen Brunson and SGA and Jokic, with the flailing and the throwing themselves and the flopping, are getting calls. That's the easy conversation. And to be fair and to be clear, I hate it.
We know.
I do believe that what you're seeing a lot more than just superstars is in pick and roll action. You're seeing a lot more on the offensive and the defensive side, both sides trying to pull a foul call in a pick and roll. It's happening a ton right now. Top of the key, I'm calling for the big. Somebody's throwing their arms. We're looking for some type of call from a referee. Roman, where do you stand on how many times we're seeing players trying to get calls rather than just trying to play the game?
Well, I think as we get more and more of this happening, the flopping calls, we're probably going to see more of it. But like this year's playoffs, there still isn't a lot of regulation on the flops. There still isn't a lot of regulation on, the forced contact from a player.
Yeah.
So if teams are going to get physical, we saw it a bunch in this Timberwolves Nuggets games. Like, it's getting very physical at times, and the refs are letting things go. But then when it gets down to like prime time, if you're going to push Jokic and he sells some contact, superstars are going to get their calls. Like, this is the league that we're in, and it's going to happen. SGA is going to go to the free throw line. Jokic is going to go to the free throw line. And there's so much contact between these teams that, to me, like I said, it becomes that chess match. Who's going to deal with the contact better? Can you be willing to, sell some contact sometimes? Because this is nothing new. This is what the superstars do. This is what all players do now. You got to be able to sell the contact. Free throws are part of the game. Some players are going to sell it more, and sometimes it's going to work out better for you than other times. But I'm honestly not feeling like I'm not seeing too much of it. I'm just seeing really physical basketball.
In my opinion, trying to counterweight physical basketball with the flipping and the flailing and the throwing yourself, I think it's actually hurting the game more than anything. I think that this is a bigger problem than tanking, in my opinion, because it's ruining the playoff product. I believe it's ruining the playoff product. I'm not a big fan of every single time Jokic touches the ball in the paint, he throws his body forward as if he got shoved by Gobert. I'm sick of it. I really am. I'm so sick of seeing that kind of stuff. Possession after possession after possession, both sides of the ball, and just about every single player is doing it. So, like, you can look at your superstars, but the role players are doing it just as much as anybody. Your favorite players doing it. And I think it's a bigger issue. I take more of an issue with that than I do teams tanking for a top pick. And so how do we address it? I think you really need to bring the flopping technical foul into these games. You got to enforce it early and make it stop. Let these players focus on actually playing the game. I don't want to see it anymore. I'm not a fan of it. Listen, let me know in the comments. Are you on Roman's side? Hey, this is a tactical part of the game and it's the chess match. Or are you sick and tired of seeing the flopping and the flailing from all of these players? We need to know.
Yeah, let this guy know how wrong he is in the comments. The guy just tried to complain runs to games with refs. So I know where this guy stands. He's tough old head over eater Mo. But when there's refs involved, people play to the refs. That's how you win a basketball game.
Just
obviously
focus
not tonight, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to say that Minnesota doesn't play to the refs as well. Like Ant will do it, and I'm a huge Minnesota guy. Ant does it.
Yeah, but the only reason their
Brandon
Nuggets are in that game is because Jokic was doing it.
Yeah. Because he was just. I don't even want to get into it. I'm sick of Jokic, man. I'm sick of Jokic. I'm a Wolves fan. I can't stand watching him play basketball. I don't like playing against him because he's so good and he does all this extra stuff and he's always trying to start something all the time and then acting like he's so innocent when he never is. He's a great player. He's an all-time talent, and I don't like watching him play. And I really want to see the Wolves send him home again. Send him back to the horses, okay? Punk this man and the Denver Nuggets again. I'm so sick of those guys. I don't want to see him anymore. Get him out.
If your best shot is Rudy Gobert, good luck.
Gobert played well. Hey, Gobert played well. Naz Reid had his moments when Jokic wasn't in the game. Naz is he's such an interesting player. I don't even know what to make of the way that he plays basketball.
Dude tries to charge at his bench.
Yeah, that was crazy. He like wants to be a guard and doesn't want to play big on defense. This is just strange. Just very strange. We won the game regardless. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And we'll probably win the next one too. Victor Wembanyama today announced as unanimous defensive player of the year. First time all time. Absolutely incredible. Well deserved. Roman, should he have been the first unanimous defensive player of the year? What are you thinking about the award?
First, probably not. I feel like we've had such good defenders. Like the fact that like Tim Duncan has never won one, and Hakeem doesn't have a unanimous. Ben Wallace has 4 of the awards, but has never been unanimous. Like it's the same thing with like that unanimous MVP. There's probably been a few guys who probably should have won this at some point. Like Mark Eaton, averaging like 6 blocks a game one season. That guy don't think he would have been unanimous, but they didn't start doing this till like almost mid 80s. But yeah, my thing with this is how many is this guy going to win?
Like, oh man. Yeah.
Who's going to be competing for defensive player of the year? If this is his 3rd year and he's unanimous, like all Victor's going to have to do is play 65 games. If he meets the requirement, this guy might end with like 7 or 8 defensive player of the year awards.
If we gave that last Frenchman a bunch, especially consecutively, this Frenchman's going to win way more. Are you kidding me?
Bro, like the most right now is 4 of them. And that's
he's clearing
all-time greats.
Yeah, he's
Wemby's going to have that before he even hits his prime.
He might hit that before 30.
It could be bad, man. Like, especially 2 seed already. This team looks like they could potentially win a championship. Like, it is something doable.
And he's come out and said, I want to stack accolades early. Like, he's been very clear what he's trying to do.
That's how you become great. If that dude wants to be the top 5 all time, be in that conversation, you got to steal some stuff early. And
he retires saying he's the greatest defensive player of all time. I think at some point when it comes to defensive player of the year, you're going to have a guard version of the award and a big version of the award.
I agree.
I think you have to separate them because it's 2 completely different roles, 2 completely different expectations. They impact the game in very different ways. I think you have to separate them. The NBA needs to do the right thing.
What do you call it, though? How do you separate that?
Goodness gracious, I have no idea.
Best all-around defender. and best center and the best interior, the like who affects the
Perimeter,
defensive level the
interior,
most?
perimeter. I don't know. I
Like,
don't
yeah,
know.
who affects winning the most on the defensive end, and then who has the most effect?
We just go to win shares guy. Listen,
I mean, Jokic would be winning some defensive player of the year.
oh my gosh, don't ever say that to me again. Listen, a lot of conversation around LeBron James, whether or not this is the final season for him with the Lakers. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know how LeBron plans on evaluating his next move after this season and this playoff run. But I can tell you one thing that would be the worst move of his entire career. That would be going to play in Golden State. If LeBron James goes and teams up with Steph Curry in Golden State, that is the single worst decision he could possibly make in his career. Following in the footsteps of Kevin Durant, albeit a much older version in LeBron, but playing with the guy that went ahead and won 4 championship rings on your watch, and you go join his team in his city, there is nothing worse for LeBron James and his all-time career than teaming up with Steph Curry if it happens in Golden State. Now, if Steph leaves and you go somewhere, that's totally different. It's also not going to happen. But I don't believe you can ever see LeBron James play with Steph Curry in Golden State. Am I crazy?
No, they would just add to the amount of teammates that LeBron has played with that have been like all-stars. I mean, at this point, if he did his, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Draymond Green, and it's a long list of players, but
Beyond
I honestly think LeBron should just retire. Like his career he's getting discredited more and more at this point the more he plays. Like, he has incredible numbers, but everybody's just saying he's just too old doing this, and it's not worth it, which I agree with, man. He should have just retired after about 23, after Solomon Hill takes his ankle out, play 2 more years, and he would have been good, Bron. But see what you do this year. But yes, teaming up with Steph Curry, I remember seeing that it was like potentially Kawhi and LeBron could go to Golden State. Talk about how to completely ruin your career.
Yeah.
I please don't do it, LeBron. Just go home.
Sticking with LeBron right now, I want to talk about the Lakers. Lakers-Rockets, the game. The tip-off is at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Listen, I've got a 3-year-old. I've got an 8-month-old. I'm picturing watching games with my kids as they continue to get older and older and older. What are you doing with a 9-year-old that wants to watch LeBron James play and the game doesn't start until 10:30 at night? Like, how are you people on the East Coast surviving watching the game till 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, and you got to wake up 5 hours later to get ready for work? Like, I need somebody to explain to me how this works.
I don't know how they're doing it, because when we were in Hawaii recently, and March Madness games, some of them would start at like 2 p.m. And I'm like, this is awesome. The games are done by 7 o'clock out there, and you still have the evening to do what you want and have an excuse to, turn on a game at work, something like that.
Mhm.
But then I thought about the other side of it, and it's like, if you do live on the East Coast, a game starts at 10:30. If a game goes into overtime, even if it's just a game with heavy fouls, like, you're going to be watching until 1 to 1:30.
I tell you, you're not going to be watching. You're going to be sleeping. You're going to be done. You're going to be asleep on the couch.
Yeah, if you're not a night owl and you're getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, definitely not enough sleep. So I don't know how you East Coast folks are watching these 8 o'clock, 8:30 start time games, which is the 10 to 10:30 for you guys. So shout out to the basketball fans that are on that East Coast.
Yeah, man, that's tough sledding out there. With some of the changes that have happened, Golden State's been eliminated from the playoffs. The Clippers lose in the game before. So now get this, the Thunder get another lottery pick. Golden State is getting a lottery pick. Shocker. And with the NBA draft upcoming and with Adam Silver being so upset about teams that have been tanking, I can see it now because the draft's been rigged since 1985. One of these teams is going to get a top 4 pick. I don't know if it's the Thunder or if it's Golden State, but something is telling me one of these teams is going to get it. And you know it's going to be like the Jazz or the Pacers that are going to get booted for it, because those are the teams that never get those picks. I've seen this happen too many times. I've
I'll
seen it
bet
happen
on
too many
Golden
times.
State giving it.
Yeah, you want it to be Golden State? They get a new
I,
coach, Steph Curry, a top 3 player.
yeah, I just think like even when they did their 1 year post COVID of
Mm,
trying to get a lottery pick and it ends up not being good at all. Like you pass up on LaMelo Ball
yeah.
and it just doesn't work out. So I think they deserve another shot at it. This will be a big teller on how rigged the draft is, especially if OKC were to get a pick.
Oh,
That would be some crazy stuff to see. But like, yeah, Jazz have proven that they can be a good team if you give them another, legendary asset. So I'm hoping that the NBA does right this year and gives the teams that really deserve a shot at, the Pacers. Oh, they really deserve it. They really, really deserve it. So let's go ahead and give them a top pick. The Jazz, they also really deserve it. No, I don't even like the Jazz. It's not like I live in Utah or anything. So let's see them get a top pick. And then let's give the greatest shooter of all time. Let's give him some help, see what he can do.
yeah. I mean, look, after the Dallas Mavericks got Cooper Flag, the Pelicans have gotten Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson. Chicago got Derrick Rose. Cleveland got Andrew Wiggins, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Bennett, which they botched making that pick themselves. Uh, LeBron James getting LeBron James. The list goes on and on if you want to go through all of the names and all of the stories that have taken place to get number 1 picks into the right markets. It's just sad that at a draft that is this good, the NBA is just going to set us up for failure yet again, giving everyone hope, and then they're just going to cherry pick Darren Peterson or AJ, and they're going to plop them somewhere in California.
I don't know, man. This
We'll
this year
see.
will be very telling. I will believe you that the draft is rigged if we end up seeing OKC get a top pick. That really does happen, then I'll be like, okay, this is dumb. But watch, we're gonna end up seeing Pelicans get another number 1, Wizards get number 1. You just wait for it. You just wait. Would you
Okay.
rather in their prime AI edition?
Okay.
First player, Klay Thompson.
Allen Iverson.
Yeah, no question, sir. Ray Allen,
Allen Iverson.
Gary Payton,
Allen Iverson. Not even close.
Steve Nash,
Allen Iverson.
Chris Paul,
Allen Iverson.
Russell Westbrook,
Allen Iverson.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. Yeah. Easily Kobe.
The poll was where you were going to go with Russell Westbrook because I think a lot of people would be like, I'm taking you. There's Russ fans are insane.
Yeah,
There's
no,
so
you
many
think
people
that's
that are
you think that's the
going
only
to take
one?
Russ.
There's plenty of TikToks breaking down Steve Nash versus AI. There's tons of TikToks about that. There's a lot of people that would take Nash. It's
Well,
crazy.
and Iverson, undersized, but one of the greatest scorers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in their prime, if you're making a team with a specific asset, like Russell Westbrook, that's a triple double. That man is elite.
Yeah, but I think his game feels dated in today's game, and this is the era that he's played in. Like his inefficiency at the 3-point line, especially, and then the fact that he misses so many shots at the rim and turns the ball over. Like sometimes I feel like when I watched Prime Russ, I was like, "Is there something wrong with your hands? Is something wrong with your fingers?" Like he just didn't have like the tightest handle I don't know. I think it's easily AI. I don't even question it. I would go with him for sure. When he was the primary option, the number 1 guy, he did more with comparable role players around him than what Russell Westbrook was able to do. And I understand that Russ was in the West, and I would accommodate that. But regardless, I believe that AI did more with what he had.
Okay. There you have it. My next question. Staying with prime Westbrook kind of conversation. How would prime Derrick Rose versus prime Westbrook go? Who wins the matchup? We know that the Bulls team was, the number 1 seed. Like that team is officially better if you want to look at Russell Westbrook's MVP year, like 2017. This team's like the 5 seed, but it's the first triple double we've seen since Oscar Robertson. And then with Derrick Rose, youngest MVP ever, 2011, like that team is competing with the Heatles. These two guys match up. Who comes out on top? Like, who do you think walks away and is like, they got him?
Both of these guys, ultra athletic point guards, all-time players, iconic. And I feel like I'm going to still take Derrick Rose. And there's a couple of reasons why. I feel like the fluidity of Rose's game and the rigidity of the way that Russell Westbrook plays makes me lean more on Rose. I feel like he's more consistent late game. I feel like he's more clutch late game. You can go over shooting splits all you want. Rose was better at the free throw line, especially in clutch moments. And I feel more confident in his ability to make to score at all three levels than I do with Westbrook. There never was a time where I felt like Rose was trying to gimmick his way in the game. He was a pure basketball player, start to finish. And there were times where I just felt like Westbrook was stealing rebounds to make sure he got to a number because that was his claim. His claim was that he was going to be the numbers guy. So I'm going to go with the pure hooper here, the more pure hooper here, Derrick Rose.
Okay. From an efficiency standpoint, can't really argue with it. As a big D Rose fan, even I am like, I don't know, man, prime Russ. Regardless of how reckless he is, man, was that guy good at basketball?
He was.
Man, was that guy
Special.
insane.
Special.
So, just a shout out to those two freakishly athletic point guards in the 2010s. I hate that D Rose had to deal with injuries. I feel like he would have, honestly, crept up to what Russell Westbrook was going to have because Russ didn't really have to deal with any injuries early on, random knee stuff, but never a major injury. And I feel like that's what we were gearing up for with Derrick Rose because so young, man. Wins MVP. Next year he's out. He comes back, but it's obviously different. Like you go watch that 2010 to 2012 season, just how fast Derrick Rose was. And it's just different, man. Just a different type of player. So shout out to those freakishly athletic point guards.
I don't think there was ever a day that people considered Westbrook better than LeBron. No. And I do believe that there were days where people thought Derrick Rose was on par with LeBron James. As outlandish as that claim may be,
got the MVP.
There were people that thought Derrick Rose is a comparable, if not better, player in moments than LeBron James. That is special.
That is unique. Stop the 5 Pete. 5 MVPs in a row. Broke that up.
Ridiculous. NBA propaganda.
Okay. Just a few. This is just kind of random stuff that I was thinking about. I was looking up. LeBron is 21 3-pointers away from becoming second all-time in 3-pointers. So Klay Thompson's not in the playoffs. So LeBron's about to become number 2 in 3-pointers. Just another longevity stat. And then staying on like playoff accomplishments, KD is 188 points away from passing Tim Duncan on all-time playoff points. So shout out to KD. I mean, he's coming up on it. Got a lot less championships, but that guy's played a lot of playoff minutes. James Harden will jump from about 8th to 6th on the all-time assist list. And then by the end of his career, if he plays a few more years and gets into the playoffs, he might creep into that top 5. James Harden will go down as never doing anything in the playoffs, but he may creep into a top 5 all-time assists in the playoffs. That would be very weird to see. And then just a cool fact with that. James Harden, if you took his assists right now and doubled it, he would still have less than LeBron James at number 2. Number 1 is Magic. And Magic is at like 2,400, I think 2,300, something like that. But just shows how far and away, especially those top 2 guys are. Like James Harden you could double his amount of assists that he's had. This is 17 years in a row of like, is it 17 years in a row?
17 playoff appearances in a row, yeah.
Something like that. And yeah, still would have to double it to get to where Braun and Magic are at. So just some random playoffs accolades that could be showing up this year in the playoffs potentially. And I'm giving a lot of shout outs today, but just shout out to the longevity guys.
You look at that stat for Magic, the fact that he has the most playoff assists on a shortened career is actually wild. Actually wild. And you know what I saw online? Okay, so we did a would you rather with Steph Curry, and I took Magic over Steph. I said that I think that if I was building a starting five, I would take Steph, but if you're talking greater player, the greater player was Magic. And a lot of people are in the comments saying, what did Magic do without Kareem? And I would come back and I would say, well, what did Steph do without Draymond, Klay Thompson, Steve Kerr, and Durant for stretches? What was he doing without his Hall of Fame players? He wasn't doing anything. People wanted him out of the building. They wanted to keep Monte Ellis. Like, what are we talking about? So I'm not going to discredit Magic because he played with Kareem. Like, Magic delivered in the biggest moments. So the fact that he holds that assist record is actually incredible. Arguably a more impactful record than what John Stockton has.
Whoa.
You gonna tell me I'm wrong? Would you rather have the all-time assist record in the regular season or the all-time assist record in the postseason and 5 championships?
Well, obviously 5 championships, but that's not what.
So let's not act like it's disrespectful. It's not disrespectful.
The stat that gets talked about way more is John Stockton's assist record. Nobody talks about the fact that Magic is
when you talk about top 5 players all time, top 10 players all time, you bring up Magic, and you never bring up John Stockton.
Yeah, but there's context there. But I would much rather have
the context.
I would much rather have the all-time assist record because nobody's thinking playoffs when you say that.
You freaking kidding?
No, nobody's thinking playoffs. No,
you'd rather have the all-time assist record. You'd rather have the all-time assist record than Magic's playoff assist record and 5 championship rings, Roman.
The record that gets talked about more is John Stockton's 15,000 assists. Like that, when people bring up like the assist record, you're not talking about playoffs. It's like if we're completely taking out championships or anything like that, that accolade doesn't matter.
Okay, but you took out half the argument. You took out half the argument. I said, if you have the playoff record and 5 championships, I would take that over Stockton's record, which is the all-time assist record and no rings.
Yeah, but the statistic has nothing to do with winning championships.
It does. Has everything to do with winning championships.
No.
You were the best at doing it in the biggest moments over a long stretch, winning 5 titles.
Obviously, yes, but do you get what I'm saying? The accolade itself is not attached to a championship.
No, it is. It's attached to 5 rings, actually.
Yes, but assists do not directly win championships. It's like LeBron.
They actually won 5 championships.
LeBron is the greatest scorer of all time because he has the most points. It's like,
sure,
you wouldn't just look at,
but he's also he's also second, and that led to 4 championships.
Okay, but I'm not comparing it to anything. I'm just saying you can't do this because the stat itself does not convert because John Stockton's probably on that list.
But I did it. But I did it though, and it works. That's the thing.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't
work.
Yeah,
because
it does.
You're getting away from what my main point was: is that the statistic itself is not what converts to winning, and the statistic that gets talked about more is John Stockton's.
When you look at the top 2 guys, it led to 9 titles. So I'm not sure where you're going with that one. But okay.
What's wrong with you? Like, it doesn't get talked about, Moses. Nobody has ever been like, yeah, Magic Johnson, all-time leader in assists in the playoffs. But it's like, no, who has the assist record? It's you talk about John Stockton.
Now, maybe we'll start talking about it now.
No, we won't.
No?
It won't be a thing.
No?
But like, people don't talk about Magic Johnson's career, I feel like. It's just like, this guy was electric. He made the Lake Show what it is. But like, but if you ask most people how many titles he has or how many MVPs he has,
that's
be able
it.
To tell you.
If you asked 50 NBA fans how many rings, MVPs, and finals MVPs Larry Bird and Magic Johnson have, I guarantee you 47 of them would get it wrong.
I think more than that would get it wrong.
Ooh.
I feel like you'd probably only get about 5 to 10 people that would actually get all of that right.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. That's why I think Larry Bird is the most discredited top 10 player all time, because people just don't know what he accomplished in the league.
If you're talking peak, I mean, back to back to back. Who's
Bro,
done
it's
that
right-
in the league?
Bro,
Who's
it's
done
right
that?
there. Not very many players.
Like the 80s. Imagine what Magic would have been doing if there wasn't a Bird.
Okay, well, yeah, not in the 80s. Nobody else was doing it in the 80s.
MJ was getting beat in those 80s.
Well, he was getting smoked out in the 80s. Well, we can't talk
IT.
about that. We're not allowed to talk about how he was getting smoked out in the 80s, bro. We're not allowed to talk about how Isaiah Thomas was beating the Boston Celtics and the Bulls to win his rings. Can't talk about that.
Because he
You're a
was
hater.
young. We don't talk about the
NBA
LeBron's
propaganda.
4 years.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. Because we discredit LeBron for going to the finals and losing to the Spurs. That's exactly what happened.
Because he made it there and he lost.
Okay, but that's
Made
what
it to
I'm
the
saying.
biggest
We
stage.
We do discredit
The
LeBron.
best players perform on the biggest stage, and he has lost more times on the biggest stage than he has won. It's very easy to remember that when you get there and don't perform.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say don't perform, but don't win.
That's a shame. And with that, we are going to close out this episode of the Swishlist Podcast, Season 3, Episode 26, where we are breaking down NBA playoff coverage. We want to know from you, what's your favorite series? What's your must-see TV today and tomorrow and the next? We'll be watching every game. We'll continue to give you playoff coverage throughout the week, so stay tuned and check in with us over here at Swishlist. Give us a follow on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, and share this podcast episode with somebody that needs to know ball. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Swishlist Podcast, we are out.